Good morning, everyone. Now, today I'm going to start a new lesson, that is thermodynamics. Lesson number 6, thermodynamics. Now, let us discuss about, first of all, about thermodynamics. So, thermodynamics, it is the important science as it helps us to first. Thermodynamics help us to predict the feasibility. It help us to predict the feasibility of a reaction. It is very important. Thermodynamics is very important because it help us to predict the feasibility of a reaction. Now, what is the meaning of the feasibility? That is whether certain reaction is possible. The meaning of the feasibility is whether certain reaction is possible under given condition of temperature and pressure or not. That term is known as the feasibility of a reaction. Means whether the reaction takes place at the given temperature, at the given value of pressure, or it is not able to initiate or to proceed. So that is called the feasibility. So thermodynamics helps us to predict the feasibility of a reaction, whether the reaction takes place or not. So this is the first characteristic or first importance of the thermodynamics. Now, the second importance is it predict the extent of chemical reaction. Thermodynamic predict the extent of chemical reaction, means the value at which the chemical reaction takes place, up to which state the chemical reaction takes place. That is called it the extent of chemical reaction. Now, third one importance is it predict the force. It predict the force that drives chemical reaction. The thermodynamics gives us the idea about the forces that govern the chemical reaction. So these are the important steps which we can get with the help of the thermodynamics. Now, before starting the chapter thermodynamics, there are certain important terms which are known as the thermodynamic term. These terms are known as the thermodynamic terms. So let us discuss something about these terms. So the first term is system. This is a thermodynamic term. This is known as the system. So the part of the universe, system is the part of the universe that is under thermodynamic observation, or we can say that the part of the universe which is under observation. The part of the universe which is under observation is known as system. Now, the second term is surrounding. The second term is surrounding. So, the remaining part, surrounding is a remaining part. So, the remaining part of the universe that can interact with the system is known as the surrounding. And now the third part is the boundary. Now the third term is the boundary. So the meaning of the boundary is which the boundary it is in between the system and the surrounding, or it is also termed as the real or imaginary surfaces, or these are the lines separating separating system from its surrounding. This is called boundary. So the system, the part of the universe which is under observation, it is called system. Surrounding, it is the remaining part of the universe, it is known as the surrounding. And boundary means it is a line, it is a real line, or it is an imaginary surface which separates the system from its surrounding. It is known as the boundary. So the boundary may be diathermic, means it allow the passage of heat, or it is adiabatic, means it does not allow the passage of heat. So the system and the surrounding together constitute the universe. The system and the surrounding, they both together constitute the universe. So it means that universe is equals to system plus surrounding, because system is that part of the universe which is under observation, while the remaining part of the universe is known as the surrounding, and altogether the universe is equals to system plus surrounding. Now next topic is types of the system. This is the next part, type of the system. Now look at here first of all. For example, this one. Okay. Now this is the system, and outside the system, this is surrounding. This is surrounding, and this layer, it is known as the boundary. So this is system which is under observation. The remaining part of the system is known as the surrounding, and this is the line which separates the system from the surrounding, and it is known as the boundary. So the next heading is the types of the system. So depending upon the movement of matter or energy, depending upon the movement of energy in or out of the system, in or out of the system can be classified into three categories. First is the open system, second one is the closed system, and the third one is the isolated system. So depending upon the movement of the matter or energy in or out the system, in or out of the system is classified into three categories. First one is the open system, then closed system, and the third one is the isolated system. Now let us discuss one by one. So the first one is the open system. Now an open system can exchange matter as well as energy. An open system exchange matter as well as energy with its surrounding. With its surrounding. It means whenever we are talking about the open system, it means definitely there will be the exchange of the matter as well as energy between the system and the surrounding. So such type of a system is known as the open system. The boundary here is not sealed. In case of the open system, the boundary is not sealed and non-insulated thermally. Okay, now let us discuss an example of the open system. For example, the presence of reactant in an open beaker means we have a beaker which is open beaker and lots of reactant are present inside that beaker. So reaction occur in all the living systems. This is the another example, reactions occurring in all the living system and car engines. These all are the example of the open system where the exchange of the matter as well as exchange of the energy takes place. So for such a system, means for open type of a system, the change in mass is not equals to 0 and change in energy is not equals to 0. Here delta show the change. Both the delta is the term which is used for a change. So delta m is equal to change in the mass and delta E is equal to change in the energy. So change in the mass as well as change in the energy is not equals to 0 in case of the open system. Now come to the next topic, and that is the closed system. So a closed system does not exchange matter. It does not exchange matter but exchange energy. Closed system is that system which does not exchange matter but it exchange energy in between the system and the surrounding. And here the exchange of energy takes place in the form of heat. In closed system, the exchange of energy takes place in the form of heat or work or radiation. So here in case of the closed system, the boundary is sealed. The boundary is sealed but not insulated. When the boundary is sealed means there will be no exchange of matter and it is not insulated. So definitely there will be the exchange of energy in the form of the heat. And the example of closed system is hot water. This is the example. Hot water kept in closed container. Hot water kept inside a closed container. So in case of the closed system, delta m, that is change in the mass, is equals to 0 as well as delta E, that is change in the energy, it is not equals to 0 in case of the closed system because mass does not exchange. The matter does not exchange but there will be the exchange of energy in the closed system in between the system and the surrounding. Now the last type of a system is called the isolated system. So an isolated system, it exchanges neither matter and nor energy. So an isolated system means which does not exchange the matter as well as energy in between. There will be no exchange of matter as well as energy in between the system and the surrounding. So such type of a system is known as the isolated system, and it means that here the boundary is sealed. Here the boundary is sealed as well as insulated. The boundary is sealed as well insulated. And the example of the isolated system is, that is, thermos flask, in which we kept the hot tea or coffee, because there will be no exchange of the matter as well as energy in between the system and the surrounding. So in case of the isolated system, the change in mass is equals to 0, as well as the change in energy is equals to 0, because neither the matter or mass is exchanged nor the energy is exchanged in between the system and the surrounding. So these are the three types of the system, that is the open system, closed system, and the isolated system. Now the next topic is macroscopic properties. This is the next topic of thermodynamics. So the physical quantities that are used to define the state of a system. The physical quantities that are used to define the state of a system are called properties. And the thermodynamics deal with matter in bulk. Here the meaning of the matter in bulk is in large excess. And the properties arise because of the bulk behavior. And the properties which arise due to the bulk behavior of the matter are known as the macroscopic properties. So the properties which arise due to the bulk behavior are known as the macroscopic properties or bulk properties of the system. So the macroscopic properties are of two types. The first is intensive properties, and the second one is extensive properties. The first one is intensive property and the second one is extensive property. So the first one is intensive. So the properties which do not depend upon the quantity, the properties which do not depends upon the quantity, of matter. The properties which do not depend upon the quantity of matter or the size of the matter are known as the intensive properties. An example, pressure, because pressure is not depend upon the size of the matter, and the temperature, temperature and surface tension. So these are the properties which do not depend upon the quantity of matter. Such property are known as the intensive property. Now next one is the extensive properties. So the properties which depend upon the quantity, or size of a matter. These properties are known as the extensive properties, and the example of the extensive property is volume, mass, entropy, and internal energy. These all are the example of the extensive properties. And means extensive properties are those which depends upon the quantity, because these all volume, mass, entropy, internal energy, they all depend upon the quantity or the size of the matter. And intensive property means those properties which do not depend upon the quantity of matter. For example, pressure is independent of the matter size, and the temperature and the surface tension.